Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Herd Fit Podcast with Dr. Sam Marie and myself, Coach David Syvertson. This podcast is aimed at helping anyone and everyone looking to enhance their healthy lifestyle through fitness, nutrition, and most importantly, mindset. All right, welcome back to the Herd Fit Podcast. I am Coach David Syvertson, and we are under 24 hours away from the 2026 online age group semifinal. And I'm going to try to time this to be under 25 minutes to not necessarily break every workout down, maybe touch on them briefly, but maybe give some guidance on some thoughts on what order to do them. Because there is no right answer for that. I'll give pros and cons to every single approach that you might have. But underlying thing I'm always going to believe in is go with your gut and move forward. And once you make your decision, just go for it. This is not the CrossFit Open where you get to repeat the same workout 3 times in 4 days. You have 5 workouts, not 4. You have 5 workouts to do in just a few days. I don't know if you can repeat any of these, to be honest with you. So you just give it your best shot. You're not going to be 100% for all 5. Nobody is. And that's part of being a CrossFit competitor, if that's something you want to do. So I will kind of introduce workout number 1, and that is 5 rounds of 7 squat snatches, 3 rope climbs to 15 feet. Those rope climbs do change in height based on age group, as do the weights. End of the day, this is a very tolerable weight. This is not a heavy squat snatch, but it's not something you're necessarily going to touch and go. Some of you probably can. But I do think if you can stay in a 1 rep every 5 to 6 second rhythm, you're going to be in a great spot on those, and you can save your grip for the rope climbs. 3 rope climbs per round for this workout, in my opinion, will be the separator between the great scores and the good scores. Because I know athletes that can get that done in 30 seconds or less every single time, no matter how tired they are. And then we'll know people that are decent at rope climbs that'll take over a minute when they start getting tired. Whether it's grip, whether it's just inefficiency. So that's the approach that I think everyone should have on this is, hey, stay singles at least early on. And then if you feel like you have a lot of juice left in rounds 4 and 5, and you want to take a little bit of a risk, go for it. But remember, you don't want to be at grip failure at the bottom of a 15-foot rope. That is a workout that is reminiscent of Amanda. It's one of the benchmark workouts that has squat snatches and ring muscle ups. It's a 963. That workout is a little quicker than this one. A 15-minute cap. I do think we will see people that can do this close to EMOM, so probably around the 5-minute range, maybe a little long. But again, this is a mixed modal, very balanced test. It's hard to be good at both. It's rare to see someone that's good at both these. And my suggestion on this is just try to find a pace that you can stick with. It's not a 3-round sprint. It's a, hey, I don't want round 1 to take me a minute and round 5 to take me 225. Why does that happen? Let's keep track of why that happens in workouts where people miss pace and they fall apart. They no longer, their muscles can't hang on to the grip, or their inefficiency catches up to them on the rope climb. And instead of doing 3 or 4 pulls up there, and some of you can get up there in 2, it turns into 5, 6, 7 pulls, a lot more time under tension. And then that fatigue starts to accelerate. So stay within yourself in this workout and try to do your best to just stay in a zone, stay at the barbell. One quick thing about this workout I want you to pay attention to. Your barbell has to be 5 feet away from the rig. And that is a significant factor because nobody else is allowed to help you. Let's change that. Sorry. Nobody's allowed to help you move the barbell. So example, if you are done with round 3 and you're starting to lose your bearings, you're tired, you're exhausted, you drop the barbell after your 7th snatch and it ends up past that 5-foot line. You're going to tape the floor 5 feet away from your rope. If it goes past that line, none of your reps after that will count. And you can't have your buddies move the bar. It explicitly says in the standards that your teammates or your gym mates, whatever, your people that are around, they cannot help you move that barbell. So just be careful with that. Let's move on to workout number 2. Come on, screen. Where are you at? Okay. Workout number 2. Hold on. Still a rookie with this stuff. Cool. All right. Workout number 2 is 3 rounds. This is probably for some of you guys like the endurance test. I think the one later on is going to come up, but it's got running, it's got burpees, and it's got jump rope. all right, before you even get to the skill. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Okay. For those that are going to be watching on YouTube. Okay. So it's 3 rounds, 20 lateral burpee box jump over. So this is now open, quarterfinals, and semifinals that we're doing burpees lateral over something. In the open and quarters, it was barbell. For the semifinal, it's a 24/20 or 20-inch box for most age groups. It's important to know that you can't do you can't face the box on any of these burpees. Those that have the skill down, they can kind of almost lean into the jump, and it actually makes it easier. This makes it more of a leg fatigue movement where you really don't have any momentum, or a lot less momentum, I should say, when you're jumping onto that box. So just be a little careful with it. It's not crazy hard. It's not crazy different, but it is something that you should throw into your warm-up. The 10 by 50 foot shuttle runs, we've seen those already in quarterfinals. We're seeing them again. I'm sure you guys have, if you've been competing in quarters and semis for the last few years, you have seen those. You know what to do there. I think the workout really does begin either in round 3 of this first section or when you get to the third section. 100 double unders and a 50-foot handstand walk. On average, 100 double unders unbroken, meaning no breaks at all, is probably about 50 seconds of work. It could be a little less, it could be a little bit more, but that's probably about the average. I would assume after all that work prior to, and the fact that you're doing 3 rounds of this, you're going to break them up, whether they happen naturally or you do it on purpose. So you're probably looking at a minute to a minute 30 for most people for those 100 double unders. A 50-foot handstand walk for someone that's really fluid and skilled, that's 20 to 30 seconds of work. So just understand that the back half of this workout, most of your time will likely be spent on the jump rope. Now, if you struggle in the handstand walks, you don't have them, you don't practice them, they're not there yet, keyword yet, then yes, maybe you can fly through those jump ropes a little quicker. But I just want you guys to be a little careful, a little calculated, that if that's something that you struggle with under fatigue because you're not doing any double unders fresh, there's no rest in this workout, it's just a straight shot, those double unders are going to mean a lot. The gap between someone that can really fly through jump rope and someone that starts to fall apart, especially on one round of 3, imagine what's going to happen in rounds 2 and 3. It almost won't even matter how good you are on your hands. So kind of keep those in the back of your head during the first section, is like, hey, how am I going to feel for these jump rope, for these double unders? And that's going to be a really interesting workout. It's definitely, I would call this small guy, small girl favored, in that it's a little bit easier for someone that has a little bit less weight to work with. But those people, you will get your revenge. Don't worry. Don't freak out if you think these workouts a little tough for you, being a big guy, because I think your time is coming pretty quickly. Let me just X this out. We're going to move on to workout 3. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on any of the one workouts. I'd rather spend some macro level time talking about overall weekend and how to approach it. So I'm going to go back to the share screen. Workout 3, where are you at? There you are. Cool. Let's see, go back and share. All right, cool. Workout 3 is if you guys know the workout, Jackie, it's funny, there's some benchmark flavors to this workout, CrossFit Girl benchmark workouts. If you know the workout, Jackie, all right, Jackie is a 1,000 meter row, 50 thrusters, 30 pull-ups. It's exactly what this is, except that workout is with an empty barbell, 45-35, and 30 regular pull-ups. So they're going to put a little bit of weight on this barbell for everyone. Guys, 65, ladies, 45. Again, the weight decreases as the age groups go up. Just check it out yourself there. And the pull-ups are chest to bar. So that is a 1-round workout. That is Jackie on steroids a little bit. And it doesn't seem like no one's going to balk at a 65 or 45 pound thruster. But when you're doing 50 straight reps after a 1,000 meter row, it's going to feel probably similar to what a 75 or even for some of you guys, a 95/65 pound barbells feel like in normal thruster workouts, because it's so many and you get to it with a lot of fatigue. So that is something where I think people can overbite a little bit, because by the way, it's not a 1-round workout like Jackie is. You get done with it, clap, 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 go do it again. It's a 2-rounder. So this is going to be the longest workout of the weekend. This is the one that I think is endurance based. And at first glance, because of thrusters and chest to bar pull-ups, 80 reps right there, that says, okay, this is probably small guy favored again, or hey, quick squatter favored. I do think the row matters a little bit more than people think in a workout like this. Example, if someone's we had a 1,000-meter row in the quarterfinals, right? If you remember, it was 1,000-meter row, the cleans, 1,000-meter row, handstand push-ups. Okay. This row, in my opinion, is going to be a little bit tougher, especially the second one. You go through a row, thrusters, pull-ups, you're going to get to that row, and you're not going to be able to hold the pace that you did in the quarterfinals. We'll see. If I'm wrong, tell me. But I think that if you are a strong rower and you can row a solid 2K, 3K, even 5K, you have more advantage in this workout than someone that is good at thrusters and good at chest to bar, because you're going to get off that rower on the first one, probably maybe 20 seconds quicker, 15 seconds quicker. The second one, it could be close to a minute. You watch, you're going to see people slow down by 30 to 40 seconds on that second row. And if you don't pace properly. So that's a lot of time, especially when you get off that row, you can pick that thing up right away. I want to challenge everyone in a workout like this. You get off the row, don't go get chalk. Get on the bar and bang out 10 to 15 reps, and then go chalk up. Take your break, take a swig of water if you need it, because this is a trap type workout where you're going to be exhausted, and you're so exhausted and you're used to that exhaustion that you look at a new movement and you can't do it. You need to take a break prior to doing it. That's not the case here. I promise you, not only can you do a thruster, you could do probably 5 to 10 the second you get off that rower, even if you push a little bit. So I think this is probably going to be the biggest mental test. This reminds me somewhat of a workout that was in semifinals or quarterfinals a few years ago. And it was the workout that had 50 wall balls, 50 burpee box jump overs. It was 3 rounds of that, right? So that was just, it wasn't skill. It wasn't strength. It really wasn't even that much just aerobic capacity. It was your willingness to push through discomfort when you're at something that's not that difficult to do by itself. This workout will be hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie about that, but try to convince yourself prior to starting and during the second row that this is the mental test of the weekend. All right. Some of you guys look at semifinals as something that you want to train for all year. It's a goal that some of you guys have shared with me that this was the goal. Now, here you are, and this is the reward. It's here. Here you go, 100 thrusters, 2,000-meter row. But really, you don't want to let the negative emotion take over second round. And that's where I think you're going to kind of prove to yourself that you are here for the right reasons. You're here for the challenge. You're here for the journey. And then the journey of it is, can I stick out a little bit of toughness in the second round of this workout? I'm really looking forward to watching a lot of you guys do it, because I do really enjoy watching you guys get after these goals and make them and go after them. So, and that's really where we're going to see a lot of you guys shine. All right. So let's go back to that stage. Workout number 4, zoom in. Don't really need to talk, but you know what? I'm going to scroll down to the weights on this one. So here's the format of this workout. For those that have not seen this, this is a workout that every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, you have to do a deadlift. Okay. And here are the starting weights for everyone. Okay. See that 0 to 1? That's the first row. That's the starting weight for women. Okay. So 35 to 49 women, you're starting at 50 to 59, you're at 185. That's the lightest lift of the workout. And you have 1 minute to get that done. In the next minute, I'm going to move my cursor down. You're now at 235, 195. Men, I'll get down to you in a sec. Let me just get down there. Men, 35 to 39, you're starting 365. 50 to 59, you're starting at 275. Okay. And your second one, 375, 315. You could look at the weight jumps. There's no real extreme weight jumps, but for the males, there are a couple, and females. No, for the males, there are a couple 30-pound jumps, and females are a couple 20-pound jumps. And that's where I think it would expect this. That barbell after the big jump. Let's look at the first one. Okay. So you're going from 375 to 405, guys. And ladies, you guys are going from, let's see, where's your first 20-pound jump? All right, you guys are all 10-pound jumps. Oh, that's fortunate. All right, well, guys, this really pertains to you primarily. When you see the big jumps, the 30-pound jumps, that's where there's going to be a big bottleneck of lifters that don't get it done. And I bring that up for this reason. There's a tiebreak in this workout because you're going to have thousands of people getting the same exact score, meaning I lift this weight, but I couldn't lift that weight. So what do they do at the tiebreaker? Look down here. See the tiebreak load, guys? 135, 95, Women, you're at 95 and 65. That means that if you get to a barbell and you don't lift it, whether you fail it or you don't even want to try it, your tiebreaker is how many times you can clean that weight. And I think that's going to, I don't want to call it dangerous. Don't want to go down that path yet, but it's going to be weird because you're used to pulling so much more weight off the ground. In some ways, I think it could help you. But if you're really shot from really heavy deadlifts, because everyone's probably going to get close to or at a max here, it's just not, it's going to feel a little different off the barbell. It might kind of alter your mechanics a little bit. So just be a little careful, especially on that first one. But I bring this up because in this workout, there's going to be so many people that stop. I'm looking at the guys' weights right now. Let's look at the 3 to 4 minute. Okay. So they go from 405 to 435. All right. There's going to be a lot of guys that can lift 405, but they can't lift 425. They definitely can't lift 435. So they're going to be, that's where their tiebreaker is going to be. And this is what makes this an interesting test. It's like a mental test for you that if you know you can't lift the next barbell, meaning if you barely got one up, like it felt like a true 1 rep max, you're probably not going to hit the next barbell. You don't have that much time to rest, and we're adding weight to a bar that you almost did not lift. So the strategy might be right at 3, 2, 1 go of the next minute, you move to that barbell and rip the cleans and try to go for the tiebreaker. All right. Because again, those 30-pound jumps, there's going to be a lot of people that get stuck there and they have that score. Some of them are going to maybe and foolishly go for it, and they're not going to be able to accrue a lot of reps on that power clean. So there's a risk here. There's a risk to, hey, I don't know if I can lift this, but I'm going to go for it. And I might even try it twice in the same minute. That probably won't work, by the way. But that's where you have to kind of be honest with yourself that you can take the risk of going for that deadlift and it kind of puts you into a new tier of scoring, or pull yourself back from that desire and just get the most amount of cleans you can in a minute so that you win the tiebreaker. Because I guarantee, especially on those weight jumps that have a big jump, it's like a 30-pound jump or a 20-pound jump, you're going to see a huge bottleneck there. So that's a tricky part. It's a cool way to test the strength. I am surprised a little bit. We're going to talk more specifically programming down the road in another episode. Not going to be critical yet, but it is interesting that the strength they tested in quarters was the deadlift. It was paired with double under, so it was a real workout. But to do another deadlift in a 1 rep max type fashion, it was I was surprised, just a little bizarre. Not criticizing, just didn't think that was. You would think that'd be the case with like something like a front squat. Back squat, I could see being a little dangerous for a lot of people to go for a 1 rep max back squat. I personally hate those days at our gym, but a front squat you feel a little bit safer with. You could even try the overhead squat for strength. But again, I don't program and those guys do. So let's go to the final workout, and then we'll share some macro level schedule type thoughts and workout order thoughts. And then we are done. Workout number 5, share. And let's put it up. Hold on. All right, this one, I got a funny story about this one. Might not be funny to you, but it's funny to me. All right, so workout 5, as many rounds as possible, as many reps as possible in 10 minutes. 50-foot dumbbell walking lunge, and then a ladder of strict handstand push-ups. When I quickly looked at this workout the other day, I thought that was the workout, what it says right there, just a 5-rounder. 50-foot dumbbell lunge, 2 handstands, 50 lunge, 4 handstand, all the way up to 10, then you're done. I thought you would be done after finishing. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool workout, because it would be a sprint for people that can do handstand push-ups quickly. It's like, how fast can you lunge? And then someone else brought it to my attention that, no, Dave, this is an AMRAP. If you get done to 10, clap, clap, you're now moving on to the set of 12. So know this about a workout. Whenever you see reps go up like this without a limit, right? This is a capacity test. This is a great way to test capacity with anything, any skill, toes bar, pull-ups, strict handstand push-ups, muscle-ups, anything really. Because at some point, everyone gets to failure on this, or they have to break them up. When you have to break them up, it means you can't do them anymore unbroken. Some of you, it's right away. Some of you, it's when you get to the set of 14. But I do think people can get these done, that 2, 4, 6, 8 done in, honestly, under 3 minutes. I think that's possible. 3 to 4 minutes, maybe. 30 handstand push-ups, 50, maybe around 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, okay? You're not even halfway done with the clock at that point. So you're probably talking about getting through to, some of you guys are going to be getting to the set of like 16, 18, maybe even 20. Let's break this down. How long do lunges take unbroken at a normal pace? Some of you guys are ninjas with them. Some of you guys are way slow. I'm way slow, like kind of like negative your way to the ground. You stop in between reps. That's probably going to be about 40 seconds of work. All right. Some of you guys can be a little quicker, some of you a little slower, but let's say an average of 40 to 45. Okay. So that's not that much time in a workout like this. If it was down and back twice, you're talking about that's a different ball game. I think they did that last year. Or that might have been a Legends workout with lunges that were a lot more than this. So when you have a workout that's always 50-foot dumbbell walking lunge, and then it's an ascending a strict handstand pushup, that's the workout. It's the strict handstand pushup. So if you know that going in and you're not good at lunges, or you just, your legs are sore from other workouts, I think it's okay to put them down in between, because the way they make you hold the dumbbells, you can't cup them. They can't sit on your shoulders. I didn't confirm that, but that's usually what their standard is. Holding those is taxing on the shoulders. So you're going to get there with tired arms. And if you already struggle with them, let's try not to get there overly fatigued. So I do think you can put these down at the 25-foot mark. You take no more than a 5-second break, start walking lunge again, and then you're right on the wall and you're just trying to bang out a couple. Early on in this workout, let's call this in the first 5 to 6 minutes, do not press to failure. There's no point. And we see this happen all the time. And know what it happens? It happens with someone that struggles with handstands, and they usually can't do more than 3 or 4 in a row. They get to the set of 4, they get to the set of 6, and they they got one. They got their third, they got their fourth. I'm going to go for another. There's no point. There's no point in going for that PR strict handstand push-up in the 3rd minute of a workout. Because and I'm sure you've been there before, if you've done this long enough, you press to failure, it's probably not coming back. And the rest of the workout's going to be a guessing game. So I really do think, like, as you warm up, feel like, what is your fluid handstand push-up? Meaning, what does fluid mean? You could do another one after. What does that handstand push-up feel like prior to that was a little tougher? Try to stay in that zone for as long as possible, even if it's singles. Like, even if I know you can do those first, that set of 4 unbroken, that 4th one's going to be dicey. Don't go to failure on the 4th one. Because remember, you're not getting, if it was box jumps or bodyweight lunges, or something where the arms could take a break, then maybe you push it. But your arms don't get a break. Even some of the muscles that you use for handstand pushups, they're going to be active while you're holding those lunges. So there's no point in getting to that stage in the early sets. I think there's nothing wrong if you struggle with handstands and you don't want to get crushed. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing 1 or 2 at a time. I really don't. And if you're good at lunges, then you can make up some time there and just try to pick up the pace. But for some of you guys, this is a major damage control, and damage control starts with how aware you are of what you can and cannot do. Okay. So last part of this, guys, is I've already gotten the question a few times. I've asked myself, and I'm going to say, I don't know the answer to this. What order should I do these in? I'm just going to give you a couple different perspectives on what I've seen people do and it seemed to help, and what I've seen people do that it did not help. Okay. Number 1, strength first. What is the biggest strength test of the weekend? I'm assuming you're coming into this somewhat fresh, right? Because you didn't crush yourself in workouts all week. Right now, / the start of tomorrow's workout is the freshest you will feel. Okay. Do the deadlift first. However, okay, there's another approach to that. And I've been on the other side of this with squats. Okay. I don't want to do something in workout 1 that might hurt me, like literally get injured or tweak something. So if you are, I know there's people with the deadlift, it's a very sensitive lift for some people. You don't want to do the deadlift right away because there's a lot of pulling off the ground in this workout. You have the snatches that are not easy weight. It's not hard weight, but it's a good amount of, you're going down 35 times to get a snatch, which you're going further down to the ground because your hands are further apart. The shuttle runs. How many times do we see people on shuttle runs, like their back gets tired from all the hinging and bending over? So if you think it's going to impede you bad on the other workouts, then I can understand not doing the strength first. But if that doesn't happen to you, the pro coaches, the pro guidance on this is usually you do the strength first, because this is the freshest you will feel. And that's usually the way to go. If you're going to ask any pro coach, that's usually what they tell you to do. In terms of other orders, right? I now look at it as, is there anything that's bothering your body right now? I have a neck problem right now. And I did it on a strict handstand push-up day where I just did a little bit more too much straining. And I got some treatment from Marissa Liza, shout out, All Points Acupuncture, huge MVP over the past week. But I don't want to do the strict handstand push-ups early on in case I get to that aggravation stage where I really hurt my neck again. Because I was paralyzed. I shouldn't say paralyzed. I was in bad shape for a few days. Like I wouldn't even think about working out, to the point where if that happens again, I'm out. I can't do any of the other workouts. I can't even snap my head back. So I'm going to save that one for last. Like if you have a bad knee or a bad hip on lunges that shows up at times, maybe you save that one for last because you don't want to do something that's going to aggravate you elsewhere. If you're coming into this pretty healthy, another way you could look at this as, is there a workout in here that's easy for you? Meaning I'm good at those movements. I can really push my pace and I want to get my best score possible. Maybe you do that one first. We have some people that are really good runners. They're good at burpees. They're good at jump rope. Like that one could actually really get you going. Sometimes you feel better after the first workout than before because like you're in it, the adrenaline's pumping, and that one didn't make you sore. Like I don't think that one's going to make anyone sore unless you get banged up Achilles or calf type injuries with jump rope and running and the box jumps. So that's another workout that you could start off and just attack it, and it probably won't wear you out for the rest of the weekend. Those are the two workouts that I feel like should be first for most people. It's that the body weight, just go and run and jump and have fun and be a kid, or the heavy strength one. Should you do similar workouts in the same day or back-to-back days? All right, this can get really deep. I'm already past my time limit. I'm going to give myself 2 more minutes here. Okay. The walking lunges with the strict handstand push-ups. Okay. And then the thrusters, that's overhead, and the rowing, right? All of that pulling and pushing with the legs and overhead movement, even though the thrusters aren't heavy, I would try to avoid doing those back-to-back, either the same day or back-to-back days. I would try to have a day in between. But there is a lot of overhead in this semifinals. So I think you're going to kind of have to choose which one you're okay with doing back-to-back. To me, the handstand walks at the end of that workout, that's the second workout, semifinal workout, that is not going to impede your thrusters. And I don't think it's going to impede your strict handstand push-ups. So that one I'm fine with saying, hey, you can do that and then an overhead workout the next day. But I would not do thrusters and strict handstand push-ups back-to-back. I also would try to avoid doing shuttle runs into deadlifts. All right. Especially if you're low back sensitive. If your low back gets tired on shuttle runs and then you go into a 1 rep max deadlift, I would advise against that just to avoid injury. Okay. So at the end of the day, guys, one thing I always like to tell my athletes, I tell myself this, like the hay's in the barn at this point. Ryan Ratcliffe, shout out to you for that. You're not going to change anything about what you've done in the past year, whether you're proud of or not proud of it. But you can absolutely hurt your chances of performing to the goal that you want to perform at by freaking out about every workout. Like, have fun, let your body do work. Your body can naturally do all these things. You do it all the time. You don't have to overthink how to do things. Try hard, stay positive, get good warm-ups in, right? You have to video everything and set the gym up. And this is stressful. We have 10 people competing. We had 11 people qualify this weekend. And it's going to be a really tight window of things that we need to do. We need to kind of get up there, get our cameras set up, get the floor taped up, get there as early as you can so that you never feel rushed. But at the end of the day, you're a CrossFitter, you're a competitor, you're an athlete, you know what to do. This isn't going into a job interview where you don't know who's going to ask you what. You do this stuff all year round. Some of you guys have been doing this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. Let that take over. And I hope you guys have that confidence that you know how to be tired and still perform at a high level. You wouldn't be in the semifinals if you didn't. You deserve to be here. Let's kick ass. Go Bison. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Herd Fit podcast. Be on the lookout for next week's episode.